So good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you might be, friends. Welcome to RAYfest, or welcome back to this online festival celebrating women of spirit. I'm your host, Fatima Ashraf, for this session, and together with Simon Dyer, we are the co-creators of Ray of God. Ray seeks to share feminine spiritual wisdom, to help realize God in all ways, and to align with justice, truth, and beauty. The energetic state of the feminine is our guiding principle and holds our intention. And we believe that all genders hold the feminine and masculine within themselves. While we are women-led and women-centered, we welcome and encourage all genders to join us in a safer, inclusive space. Ray does not seek to present a voice of expertise. We see ourselves as travelers along the way and learning with each step. Our ideas are constantly evolving, and we hope you will join us on this journey to deeper consciousness. The aim of this festival is to encounter, embody, and embrace. And our contributors throughout the 2 days will be speaking to the broad theme of her body. What is possible when we reconnect with our bodies and begin again to see them and the earth from which they are formed as sacred, regenerative, and holding wisdom. We are blessed to be welcoming over the course of this weekend a diverse array of intergenerational, interspiritual contributors. They are religious leaders, spiritual teachers, activists, academics, creatives, and so much more. This weekend is marked by All Hallows Eve, All Saints Eve, and Samhain, that midway point between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. This is a time to honor the saints, and we hold in our awareness that this weekend there will be many friends around the world in ceremony and prayer at the same time that this festival is unfolding. In this embodying experience session, we will be led by Naseem Khakoo, a co-collaborator for many years now. And this will be an opportunity for self-inquiry and to drop more deeply and consciously into our bodies. Let me share a few words about Naseem before I hand over to her. Born in the UK of African and Indian descent, is the founder of Awakening as Woman and Her Space, and has been walking a path of truth, honoring all that is sacred since her early years. She originates from a background of meditation, yoga, and tantra, and has studied many traditions, indigenous cultures, traveled far and wide, and taken a personal 7-year deep dive into the underworld realms of shadow and trauma work. She now focuses on birthing a more integrated and heart-centered way of human maturation through an intimate journey of embodiment, whereby all of life's polarities can be embraced in deep acceptance, allowing humanity and spirit to fall into greater harmony as one. Enjoying light and dark, simplicity, wholeness, and beauty as it lives and breathes itself into existence. Her own healing and maturation process has laid the foundation for her current sharing on Awakening as Woman, Her Space, Embodied Yoga and Movement, Sacred Intimacy, Conscious Relating, Womb Awakening, Living Rest, Ancestral Reclamation, and Shadow Trauma Resolution. Oh, Naseem, it's with a very, very warm heart that we welcome you to lead and facilitate this session.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Fatih. And hello, everybody. It's such an honor and a privilege to be back in this incredible space. I've been blessed to be part of these gatherings in person and online for some years now, and this is like coming back to family, and always so timely for me and my own journey as well. So really, really happy to see you all and be here together. And as I'm kind of opening up a little into where we're going, I actually just wanted to invite everyone, if they felt to, if we have access to the chat, if we can all have access to the chat, to just pop in the chat the land that you currently find yourself on. So it might be the place that you live, or it might be somewhere where you're currently residing for a moment, and also any ancestral roots that you might be aware of in this lifetime. If you feel to, welcome to pop them in the chat. And it just feels really important that we bring all of these threads of our own kind of cosmic embodied mystery into the space and create our own web together in this practice. So welcome to pop that in the chat, and I'll start. So I'm currently residing in the south of Denmark on a little island called Moon, and I'm originally from the UK though. And funnily enough, I'm in a pretty big transition after living here for 5 years, moving back, or leaving Denmark at least, and heading back to the UK for a little while this week. And my ancestral roots, my ancestors are from India originally, the west coast of India. My parents were born in East Africa, however, Kenya, Tanzania. And I was brought up in an Islamic household, in the Islamic faith, actually, but I can very much sense my Asian, Indian ancestors for sure. So that's a little from my end. We have lots of people dropping in. Wow, lovely. Thank you. Thank you. And I wanted to start by firstly saying thank you so much to all the inspiring voices that spoke up this morning. Oh my goodness, it's been just revelatory to hear the wisdom that pours through everyone this morning, and so much for myself to take on board and digest. And I just firstly wanted to say thank you, and also to the beautiful questions that were posed. And I feel before we kind of land into the practice that it's important to maybe just share a little of my perspective on that first question, you know, what does the feminine body mean to me, and how do I encounter this relationship? Just so, you know, that you're aware of what my lens is. Wow, so global, amazing, amazing. Lovely to feel these threads of the web coming together. Thank you, folks, for sharing. Yeah, and my experience with the feminine body. So I as Fathi read out in my my short little bio, my background has very much been in this lifetime, and my ancestral background is an inherited connection to the transcendental forms of spirituality. So that sense of, you know, an inherited sense of disconnection to my own body, that I am very much living and breathing through that unlearning in this lifetime, and can feel the lifetimes of how that has been in my lineage too. So funnily enough for me, the journey through the periods of learning and training in yoga and meditation and tantra, there were always these knocks, very physical knocks for me within my body, that I can now understand as, you know, God, the divine, banging on my door, sometimes quite intensely, sometimes more gently, to kind of call me back to this other realm, this reality that is continuously being discovered through me and in all of us, I know. This sense of embodying and encountering, as we're exploring today, and this theme of her body has been really, really present with me, even though at many points I wasn't necessarily aware. And the way that, so I'm speaking from a kind of more personal experience of the feminine body, the way that reality has beckoned to me has been through illness, has been through a lot of physical pain through various different times, injury, and yeah, these very kind of very physical phenomena that I've personally encountered. And the learning for me has been to recognize that these are what I perceive to be initiations. They're initiations that open up pathways within the physical space of the body. And through that, especially here, since I've been living in Denmark, there's been a great learning for me around the connection between the physical form and the earth, and the relationship to to matter and mother, you know, that all being in a way one and the same, and the movement of spirit into matter, and how that happens as through the physical body, as a kind of portal, as a vessel uniting these two poles in a way. And the opening of the body, for me, the experience is very much through a sense of this whole kind of interconnectedness between earth and body. Almost feels like a giant wormhole, and as the pathways within the body, and as these portals within the body, which can be very much sensationally, they can be thoughts as well, physical phenomena, feelings. These various different pathways open up that communication between body and earth, body and land, and through that kind of exchange, to me, it's almost like there is a whole, you know, I refer to the body as a mystery school, or this manual of existence. This for me is how I understand the feminine, through my own physical form. And it's challenging, because, you know, the inherited belief is to not include the body, not include our feelings, not include sensation, not include illness, and to recognize that actually everything that arises through this meeting of spirit and matter, that for me the birthing ground is form. The two of these meeting is creating form, is creation in itself. You know, it's creating thoughts. The wisdom that comes through thoughts, comes through feelings, comes through emotions, comes through sensations, comes through these moments of communing in nature. And, you know, I think it was Justine that spoke so beautifully about, you know, needing to empty ourselves out to really hear the wisdom of nature. And that listening is an embodied experience. It's a very cellular experience. And in terms of what we're unraveling, in terms of, you know, transgenerational empowerment, transgenerational healing, the understanding I have is that the wisdom lies within ourselves, within our DNA. And the shifts and the transmutations that happen in terms of consciousness expanding is very much on a cellular level. At least this is the time that I believe we're in, where these two poles of spirit and matter are meeting to kind of speak very profoundly through this mystery school that is our own individual body. And I loved what Saima spoke about around, you know, the exploration that Saima and Fatih had around what does the feminine mean to Ray, and this notion of that there is really no answer. And through my own exploration and my own facilitating work with other people, other women, there is such a grounded understanding of how unique her wisdom is, and how unique it is for us as individuals. And the way that we access that unique wisdom will always be through our own physical form, because it is completely personal to us. The wisdom that the feminine wants to reveal to us, God, divine, it's for us to hear. And that listening, as I said, it really comes through the unraveling and the opening of the physical form through these various portals that we start to engage within ourselves. And these pathways for me are almost, I experience them as it feels endless, by the way, for me, the unraveling and the portals and the relationship between earth and body that unfolds. It's continuous, it's continuously revealing. And as my listening deepens, it's almost like a sense of receiving certain frequencies that come through, almost like the lands are singing through our bones. You know, there are these songs of existence that we are blessed to be able to hear at certain points in our lifetime, when we are ready, when we're really ready to hear that particular song at that particular frequency. And there are messages, there is divine wisdom that we are meant to hear through those songs. And in my experience, those frequencies just continue to deepen and continue to expand. And this is why, one of the reasons why I wanted us to all kind of share the lands that we're on, because the journey that we're going to go on is to allow this kind of interweaving of how, essentially, as that wormhole of our body and earth connection starts to open up, we naturally, and I think these online gatherings are a wonderful way to really get a sense of this, we naturally begin to open up into that bigger web of existence where our bodies are connected to different lands and different places, and you know, the places that we've already lived on, the places that we're drawn to travel to, the lands that we have a really deep connection to but we may have never been to in this lifetime. Each of these for me comes through as a frequency, as a song, and it's this process of remembering of where we've come from, where we've been. We probably half the time don't even know why we're connected to certain lands, but this is kind of yeah, where I hope we can travel to and get a little more understanding today in terms of those frequencies and those songs and what they mean to us. And in that sense, as that again, as that whole connection opens up, it feels to me like a cauldron. You know, like the body becomes a cauldron where the potential of alchemy becomes so potent in terms of that wider web where we're interconnected to our ancestry, we're interconnected to the collective, and humanity, cultures, traditions, they all kind of become like streams of information that inform us of like, okay, what I'm going through isn't actually just mine. You know, and my very literal experience of being here in Denmark has really informed me of how the things that my body are processing, the karmic and transgenerational healing that I'm experiencing is also very interconnected to the culture and the land that I'm currently residing on. And to feel that web, and I think it's just really important that we all know, as things intensify in our own journey, that what we are experiencing on one level is personal, but it goes so much further than that in terms of it being collective, and simply what needs to be transmuted through this particular era that we're in. Again, I think Justine spoke about that, this shifting of an era, and how the body is the alchemical container where that transmutation can take place. Yeah, so I think the constant questions I have are, you know, how does the divine communicate through my vessel? How does God speak through me? And how does that relate to the land that I'm living on, the lands that I'm connected to, the lands that I feel in my own ancestry, the lands that I feel even beyond that I've traveled to maybe in previous lifetimes, to really, those questions are constantly stirring for me. And I invite you, yeah, I see some of you writing them down, and yeah, please let that be a part of this exploration too. Yeah, as we create this circle of one together. Lovely, and thank you once again for bringing in all these threads of who you are and where you're from, and allowing this to be held in our alchemical container today. And folks, I'm going to just ask you if you feel to write down whatever you need to write down, and taking a moment just to get yourself comfortable as we begin a little journey together. My intention is to guide a meditation. There'll be some music hopefully coming through for that as well at some point, and to allow this kind of internal physical listening to open up within our body and see where that takes us. We'll just see where that takes us, and I really hope we get some time at the end to share and to explore what we've discovered, what gems and jewels we've unearthed along the way. So, yeah, welcome to get yourself comfortable and settle in. And whenever you feel ready, just allowing your eyes to close in their own time. If you need a little moment, welcome to do that in your own time, and allowing that breath once again that truly unites us all. And just allowing that breath as in this opening of a doorway, opening of a pathway, this first very pathway. And as you're exhaling, just feeling that descent of the breath, feeling the out breath descending down through the chest, the heart, into the belly. And take a few more breaths in that way. Welcome to really just feel this rising of the inhale, this opening, this expansion, this opening of a pathway. The belly expanding if it wants to. And then as you exhale again, that descent. Feel that pull of gravity down into the belly, into the pelvis. Just letting yourself land in this cauldron of your belly. Feeling as the belly wants to maybe take up a little bit more space. As the skin around the belly wants to soften, as the pelvis wants to unravel really gently, the groin, genitals. Sensing your buttocks on the ground or on the seat, wherever you might be resting right now, wherever you might be seated. Just feel your exhale embracing all these parts of you as your belly, as your pelvis opens up. And you might feel to just take your hands and squeeze the body in a particular place. Just maybe squeezing. For me, my hands were drawn to my thighs, my inner thighs, and just to bring a little sensation to a particular part of your body. The fleshy parts of your body, maybe the upper arms or the shoulders, just letting the hands squeeze and bring a little lifeblood into these various areas, and really listening to where your hands are guided, where your hands feel called. Taking a little time to just allow some touch. Almost like the hands are saying, hey body, hello flesh, hello bones, hello blood. And once you've done that for a few moments, take all the time you need to continue if you feel. At some point you might feel ready to let the hands rest, whenever that might be. And continuing with those waves of breath. The opening of channels, the opening of breath pathways. And this time as you inhale, really sensing that uprightness of your body. Sensing the chest, the spine, back of the body. Feeling yourself lean into that verticality of your back body. Maybe a memory of that tree that Fati guided us towards in the beginning. Let yourself lean into the structure of your back body, the wings of your shoulder blades. Once again, as the exhale begins to descend, allowing yourself to occupy that space of your pelvis, your belly, your ground. Again, sensing your seat. Just feeling this flow of uprightness and openness as the breath breathes in, descending and grounding once again as you exhale, and let that continue. And this time as the breath begins to descend, feel that drop right down through the lower part of the body and through the seat that you find yourself on, and let it travel further. Let it travel further down as you sense the land that you find yourself on right now. This sacred ground of your home, where you are residing. Get a sense of that right now. Wherever that may be, get a sense of what that land feels like, what sensation it provokes, what thoughts it provokes, what memories it provokes. Simply letting yourself listen as that channel between your body and the ground and the land opens up. And you begin to sense yourself breathing from the earth you find yourself on into your body, feeling that breath lift all the way up to the heart, to the throat, and then descending back down again. Take a few moments to let this pathway open up, this channel. Feeling that exchange of information through your breath. Let the inhale continue to expand and support the uprightness of your body. And at the same time, recognizing that descending of your view as you breathe out. Feel as your eyes, your inner eyes, begin to drop down beneath the surface of you, your sense of self, the surface of the land, into this mycelium network. Just feel as you breathe that breath, that channel begins to expand deeper and wider. Continues to be drawn in organically, received by the body. And then once again offered back into that web, that underground highway that you find yourself on. Let yourself relax into that rhythm and that song, that frequency that's opening. Let yourself be guided by that mysterious song that only you can hear right now. As this web begins to open up wider and deeper within your awareness, Sense your body here above the land, above the ground. Sense it as a still standing stone, sacred stone, planted on this piece of land with purpose and reason and mystery and magic. Get a sense of your body as this standing stone, ancient, filled with mystery, strong and sturdy. Holding the wisdom of the past for this generation to see and feel and know. Really get a sense of yourself as that ancient stone placed on this land. Feel the solidity, the texture of your body in that way, the height and the width. For a moment, let yourself recognize your body as a sacred site, a portal. Take a breath in and allow this vision, this sense of yourself to expand. Once again, as you exhale, let that sense of yourself travel down into this underground network. And for a moment, brothers and sisters, let us just sense each of us here as standing stones on these particular lands, creating a web, a grid system, a communication highway of information, of healing, of transmission. Take another breath in, breathe in from this global network that you know in your heart you are part of. And as you exhale, let yourself feel the contribution you make to that underground system. Let's just breathe in and let ourselves be nourished by this organic network of connection. Hearts and bodies, minds, beings, lineages. Exhaling, offering ourselves into that connection a little more. This wide view of your part in the grand ecosystem of existence unfold. Recognize the importance of this being that you are, this body, as a sacred site, interacting in every moment with this earth web, beauty of truth, of love, of healing. as this view and awareness begins to expand, as you sense this galactic circle of one, notice how your awareness can travel in any direction. Notice what pathways are opening up for you to explore, channels. Let that listening guide you. Let your awareness travel. Interconnected to one and all. Life guides you as you travel. I invite you to let yourself be drawn to a particular land that is calling to you right now. A particular land. It might be the land that you live on. It might be a land that you visited before. It might be a land you have not yet touched with your feet. Trust in what arises right now and let yourself be drawn through this underground network to that particular land. As you get a sense of that land, just let your senses be infused with what this land means to you. Let your inner eye and your inner listening, your inner tasting open up to really feel this land. What does the landscape look like? The culture, the society, history, whatever, and in whatever way you relate to this land, let that open up visually, sensorially. It might be smells, it might be nature, it might be the history, your history. Might be memories of when you were there. Might be a sense of what you're being called there for. Whatever it is, trust it. Let the sounds come, let the smells come. Let your eyes be infused with visions and colors and sights, buildings, cities. Everything is welcome right now. Just allowing that visual to unfold. very particular sensorial experience in your body, physical response, trust that. And as this begins to unfold, as you taste this particular landscape, this terrain, this place, country, really let this vision open up in your awareness. And ask internally, what is bringing me here? Why have I been called to this land? Let yourself just ask. And if no answer arises, just resting back into this channel and pathway and continuing to sincerely ask. The answers may come in words, in sounds, in visions, in memories. However it's revealed, trust it. Receive that message. Pay attention to those memories if they should arise. They may be memories from this lifetime, from another lifetime, from someone else's lifetime. Just simply observing what is offered through this channel. As you continue to relax, letting the exploration deepen into the next inquiry and asking, what does this land need from you? What does this land need from you? What have you come here to give, to offer? Again, just listening, trusting what arises, asking sincerely. feel satisfied with your answer. Allowing the inquiry to travel to the next question. What does this land have to offer you? What is it you are here to receive from this land? How can this land nourish you? Continuing to ask until you feel satisfied. Trusting in the messages or the silence, whatever it may be that comes in response. Trusting in that message, that song. Just allowing this exchange to flow in whatever way it feels it needs to. If there's more to hear, let yourself listen gently. If you feel content, then take a moment to just sense your hands. Let your right palm close, let the fingers come in towards the palm. And gently let the left hand turn downwards, palm resting either on the ground that you're sat on your legs. Just let this be the hand that is placed on this land. For a moment, let your hand commune with this land. It's a gesture of connection, of thanks, gratitude, of reverence. And that right hand that's closed, in this right hand is an offering. An offering that is sincere to your own heart. It may be petals, it may be a gem, it may be a food offering, it can be anything. Whatever you sense is in that palm is what it's meant to be. And you're in your own time welcome to make that offering here on this land that you find yourself on this particular piece of ground. Make that offering. Let the seed of connection be planted. Again, with gratitude, with reverence, with respect. Thank this land for what it has shared with you, what it has offered and revealed. And know that this connection is now established, and communication will continue to flow. This portal is open in your own being. Blessings of this connection can continue. As you feel your honoring of this land concluding, let yourself once again drop back into this wide web of connection, feeling this exchange as a precious piece of collective puzzle, our global family. Precious piece of your own puzzle. Journeying back through those pathways that have opened up, sensing your brothers and sisters along the way, nourishing and receiving from this ancient underground network once again, and returning slowly, gently to this spot you find yourself on, this sense of yourself as a standing stone, a sacred site, to your own body, your own vessel. And as you arrive back, just take a moment to feel your form, feel your body. Honor the sensations, the feelings, the experiences you're having right now in your form, in your temple. Just taking this moment to let the experience you've had, you're having, let it really sink into your cells. Let this body memory turn into body language. Notice the new pathways that have been carved. Know that you can revisit these channels, these portals. Know that there is an openness to continually receive and exchange, to be nourished by this network. And take your time to breathe in again and let your body be filled with breath. Breathing all the way to the edges of your skin. Just getting a sense of this unique form that you find yourself in, this body, this shape. A couple of breaths in that way to really emerge and occupy and take up this space, this sacred body, her body. And just let this sense of interconnection, of oneness, of unity just expand through your breath, through your body. Feeling this sense of polarity, that this is your body and at the same time it's so widely and divinely connected to everything. As you return back, take a moment in your heart to give thanks to the mysteries and the messages that have been revealed to you today. Give thanks to these pathways that have opened up. Give thanks to all that you have received and to all that you have offered. And thank yourself. Thank yourself for your courage, for your willingness, your sincerity, and your strength to love, to be love, to the innate healing capacity that you hold. Give thanks to yourself. And gently let yourself re-emerge in your own time, letting the hands touch the body again, feeling the body again, take a breath. And in your own time, let your eyes gently emerge back into this web of us together. Welcome back, family. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that journey with me. Beautiful.
Thank you for taking us on this journey, Naseem. We're so grateful for your friendship and for walking this path with you. Thank you, everyone, for being open to the journey and being in this experience with us all.